So anything I do in my life, I want to do it well. Like I want to put 100% in whatever I'm doing in my life. So the moment I'm faced with something where I know that I'm going to be putting 50% in, I let that go because I feel like no, it has to be, everything's been done well. If it's not being done well, I'm not really doing it anyways.
You know what I mean? So when women say that, it's just like you got to be honest about what that looks like. I mean, all this money, but then we don't see each other.
We don't see each other. So then what?
So someone else is cooking for my husband. Someone's cooking for my husband and my kids and cleaning my home and probably also sleeping with my husband because I'm not there to do it.
Hi guys, we're back. We were talking and we weren't recording. Okay, the question was: can women have it all? And I believe that's not a thing, because I think that women think they can, but and saying that sounds great, right? I can do everything, and the career, and the family, and this and that and the other. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but can you properly balance it all? I don't think that you will have a fulfilling life if you're trying to do it all.
I mean, you have to figure out what it all is. And then if you want to, for me, what does that entail for you? For me, if it means that I have to get married, have a career, and then somebody has to raise my kids, then that's not having it all. It means somebody else is doing something I should be doing.
Right.
So if it means that I have to be, come home and cook and clean and all, then I have to do 40 hours and give them, then I feel like, is that even balanced? It's like men can have it all because they can go to work, have careers, and still be fathers and still be husbands. And so nothing changes for them. Yeah. So women say, I want to have it all too. I want to be able to have a career and go. But the only reason men can have those careers is because women are at home. That was the only reason men could do that. You know what I mean? Most men will say, well, when they're married, my wife relieves me of having to deal with home stuff so I can build money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're both doing it, somebody's take care of the kids in the house.
Right.
So the idea is, we'll get housekeepers and we'll get all of this. Well, a lot of men don't want just someone in their house
raising their kids,
things and raising their kids. So it just really depends on what it all means to you.
Right.
To me, to have it all would just be a wife and a mother. That would just be me. Right. A career would always come second to my family. So,
I think when women say they want to have it all, I think that what they're talking about is that they want to have the family fulfill, like all the husband and the kids, and they also want to have a high-powered career. And most of the women that say that say they're doing that. And I'm not sure. Like something's got to give, right? Something's got to give for you to feel fulfilled.
I mean, Elizabeth Hasselbeck, she used to be on The View. Then she went to Fox and Friends.
Oh, she did.
And when she left Fox and Friends, and she's married to Tim. He's a quarterback for the Giants. Anyway, when she left Fox and Friends, they asked her why she was leaving, and she said, because I feel like my career is getting the best of me, and my kids are getting the rest of me.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving, and that's the right way to think. The truth is that when you have a high-powered career, there's a lot that you're leaving, getting away from your that you're not giving to your family. So there's a cost for everything you do. Yeah. So people don't really think about, there is a reaction to everything you do. So everything that you do, there's going to be something that negatively impacts it. So with a career, you get the accolades of being successful, you get the money and all of that, but then usually your family suffers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then if you have a great family, you don't get to go spend all of your time at work. So I think then life has a balance. For me, it would be until my kids got older, then I would go off and probably go to, maybe go to work or find something to do with my day because I have to always be doing something. Right. But while I'm breastfeeding and all that, I need to be home. I can't, for me, I have to do one thing at a time. I cannot be doing all of these different things at once, giving, what's little left of me to everybody except for myself too, because you also have to add yourself in your life. You can't just give your life to your job and your family and your husband, then you just don't have anything for you.
Yeah, I think you have to make decisions. Sometimes I feel like there's some women, like, I remember Oprah saying this, that she didn't feel, she never had kids because she didn't feel like she can do the career and the kid thing well. She only wanted to do something she can do well. If she can't do it well, she will get rid of something, right? So she knew she couldn't be a good mother the way she wants to be a mother. So she let that dream go. That go, and then she just focused on the career. Yeah. So I do kind of understand that kind of concept. Like that's my point in saying that it needs to be balanced. So
I don't want it all at once.
Yeah, if I can't do it well, If I can't do everything things in my life, like, so anything I do in my life, I want to do it well. Like I want to put 100% in whatever I'm doing in my life. So the moment I'm faced with something where I know that I'm going to be putting 50% in, I let that go because I feel like no, it has to be, everything's been done well. If it's not being done well, I'm not really doing it anyways. So the balance between, a high-powered career and then family, I personally do not see how you can do both of those. If you're a woman, do both of those well.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you have to juggle it. I mean, I guess women do it. I mean, they have to kind of juggle both things. But why would you want to do? I mean, I guess I never understand that.
Well, it's
why would you want to have that? That's just such a man thing to do.
It's not for you. It's for other people to look at you and think you have it all.
Yeah.
But really inside you're like collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to make it look like you can do all things.
You can't.
And women get this thing where we wear many hats. It's like, okay, you see what I'm saying? It's that attitude of we do more than men, so we should be able to have it all too. And the truth is, it's like, no, you have to prioritize everything. You know what I mean? So you got to find time for your husband. And by that, I don't mean co-parenting. I mean being his wife.
Right.
In a lover sort of way. Then you got to be a mother. And then you got to be able to keep your home together. And then when a career comes, you got to be able to, you can't just be a crappy lawyer or
and then you have to incorporate self-care. And then you know what I mean? Like time with your friends and your family. Like this is that time, So I don't know. I don't. So it's a tricky thing. 'Cause I know that women always say that, especially career women, they always say that they're doing. I'm doing it now. Look, I have kids. I'm thinking, I know, but a lot of times women who say that don't have like a typical job. Like sometimes they're going to board meetings, like and missing basketball games from kids and stuff. So it's like I don't know. I just don't know if I would want to do that. Maybe it's just the ultra feminine in me that I just don't feel like you can do all of that.
I just think that there's a time for everything.
Yeah.
I think that when you're in your early 20s, you can go to college and do all these things, but the instant you get married, then you're going to have a family, and then you have to make that a priority because kids didn't ask to be born.
Yeah.
So you have to take care of them. Then your husband has to have a part of you too. Then he's responsible for finances, because as soon as you have a baby, that changes.
Right.
You have to go through a pregnancy. You have to go through delivery. You have to go through getting used to having another human in the house. Then if you're breastfeeding, you have to be available to that. And then have to go back to work is inconvenient, even if you like your job. So it's just like you have to understand there are time. You have to understand there's a time for everything. It doesn't mean you can never go back to work. Once your kids are starting to get more independent and they're starting to go to school and they don't need you as much, then find something else to do with your day. Your day will be open to do more things. So, someone like me who, like, I would be a full-time mother, but then as soon as it was, when they're starting going to school, they don't need me as much.
Right.
Then I can find something else that they can take my time. You know what I mean? But I think that it has to be in order. Just trying to have the look of having it all can make you like implode. Because then you don't have any like peace of mind because you have so many things to do.
Well,
and so many people you have to answer to. And
you spend so much time on appearance, trying to make it look like you're doing it, and it's like, but at the detriment to what? Now,
because it's like men, they say, well, men don't have that choice, right? Because men don't carry babies.
Yeah, they don't. It's a difference.
They have that freedom because they are supposed to be the ones bringing in income.
Right.
So it's just like, they don't have to worry about pregnancy. They don't have to worry about delivery. They don't have to worry about breastfeeding or none of that. So that is something that they don't have to deal with, but they do have to deal with the financial load
burden on that. There's a point in time where a lot of women, I watched a YouTube video where a woman was saying this. She owned like it's an advertising company. And she got pregnant. She was, her and her husband were having a baby. And so she was talking about how she was juggling all these things. And she doing these board meetings and then pregnancy. And then she got to be out here and she's still at the board meetings. And then the baby's born. And then she's, breastfeeding. And then the board meeting's still happening, then the husband, and then she's cooking, and she's doing, and I'm just thinking to myself, sometimes women do this thing where we add stresses to our life and then call it wearing all hats. You know what you're saying? Like, it's like why don't you relieve yourself of some of the stress? I don't understand women who feel like they have to do that, run themselves into the ground.
That's just because it's because of the way that women are portrayed now.
I know.
We're portrayed to be all
much.
things.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, like, I hear women all the time, there's not enough time in the day. Well, but if you choose to be a working mother, then you chose for there to be not enough time in the day. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
you added a stressor that didn't need to be there.
Things have, like I said, things have to be prioritized. You can't have everything you want all at once.
Yeah, it's true.
And when you do that, you overwhelm yourself. You know, you're not balanced. And then the next thing is going to happen. You're not going to have sex with your husband anymore.
And then here we go.
Because I'm too tired. You know what I mean?
They do this. This happens. This
then
happens.
you scream at your children.
Yeah,
because you're frustrated.
Too much going on.
Angry. And then when you go to work, you're not progressing fast enough because you got too many things happening. And then it's true. If a woman gets pregnant, she can lose a lot of footing at work. You know what I mean? Because you won't be as promoted as quickly because you've lost 5 years. I mean, so when you take that break, you lose time. And if you have to stay home for 4 or 5 years, you lose time at that company, and someone else is going to leapfrog over you. Right. And so I mean,
that's why they don't. That's why they get all. That's why they don't want to leave because they know that's going to happen.
Unless you own your own business, that is definitely going to happen. Right. And most women don't. Most women work for someone.
But then when they own their own business and they've built it from the ground up, they don't want. It's now their baby. Their business is now also their baby. So they don't want to relieve that control. And so they want to make sure they have control in every area. And I'm like, there's so much stress I think that women put on themselves.
I don't want my kids raised by nannies.
No.
I used to work on the Upper East Side, and I used to see those women all the time would leave their kids with nannies, and those kids were always with those ladies. Yeah. They were never with their mother or their father, and so I don't want my kids being raised by another woman. It has to be me. You know what I mean? So for me to say that means I have to be there, which means my husband has to make enough to take care of us. You know what I mean? Which means I have to support him. Like I said, as my kids get older and they don't need me as much, you know what I mean? And my husband, then I can find something else to do. But I do think you can have it all at different times. I don't think you can have it all at once. You can't just have a career, have a family, have a home, have this, because something's going to suffer in there. So you can have a family life, but like I said, as your kids gets a little bit older and they don't need you as much, and they're in school and you have all this time, then you have a career and you have the space again.
I've heard men say this before. Married men that have gotten divorces now. That their wives were going to quit their job and they got married, but they didn't, and then so now he's neglected as a husband because she can't do the career thing and be a wife, or even a normal wife. So it gets kind of clouded in there. And I feel like I kind of understand, where men are coming from on that, because I feel like for women it would be hard to just all of a sudden, if you've always worked, give up that and then try to be a wife.
Jordan Peterson was saying this about gender roles and how women are. He said, women are different. He said, yes, we can be equal, but we won't have equal outcomes. And he's right about that. We won't have equal outcomes because of what I said. If you have a career and then you get pregnant, both of you and your husband have a career and you get pregnant, his career will still flourish because
yours is going to stifle a bit.
And yours is because you have 9 months to be pregnant. Then you got to leave before the baby even comes, and then you have to get used to another human being in your life. You know what I mean? And then you have to get used to that. Then you also have to get used to the fact that you're going to have to leave them. Most women don't want to leave their kids the instant they have that baby. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's just the bonding thing, leaving. You know what I mean? And so there are a lot of things that come when you start trying to add a family. Yeah. You know what I mean? So the outcomes of gender roles are not going to be the same. They're going to be the equality. You can both go to work. We can do that in this country. You can both go to work. You can both have careers. You can both be millionaires. You can both be CEOs. You can. But the outcomes in what's going to happen when you add something will be different for women. You have to make some sort of decision that men won't have to do simply because they can't give birth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why when people say women say they can have it all, I call BS on that.
Yeah.
Mostly because I think that if you do have it all, it's because someone else is doing work for you, cleaning your house, doing things that really you should be doing.
And that's what I'm saying about the balance thing. Like, okay, so is it possible to do everything? Yes. But is it possible to do everything well? No. I don't think any human can do everything well.
So I was going to say, for women, it's much different. Women talk about equality because we want to feel like we're like men, but we're just not like men. You know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing, or it's not bad or good. It's just the way things are. You know what I mean? Men are supposed to climb the ladder of success mostly because they don't have kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not going. Them being a father isn't going to
affect their.
It might affect it for the better. Now they have something else to care about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not going to affect them negatively.
Yeah, because women have to now bear the actions. That the physical part of it's already one thing. Then the mental, emotional stuff adding to another human that was attached to you.
Women get postpartum depression.
Yeah,
after that, so there's a lot of psychological things that happen to women too. You know, we have to get our bodies back in shape because then we won't feel good about ourselves. We start looking like an overweight person.
Yeah,
and now we're a mom. We have to take care of our kids. We have to take care of our home. We have to make sure our husband's okay. You know what I mean? And then you're going to have to go to work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So is having it all desirable, or to just sound like it is?
I just think that you have to choose. I'm sure a lot of women would disagree with that, but especially women who are in careers right now and have kids and they're doing the whole thing. I'm not even knocking you if you're figuring it out. Then that's, you know, okay. But I think that because I even know people who say that in the situation, and they say that it's just too much. It's so much. It's just too much. I don't have time. I don't have time to do my hair. They always say like that. Half time I don't have time to even get dressed. I'm just thinking, so you can't do it all. So you're not doing. You literally are not doing it all. So what are you trying to prove here? It always just seems like women are like this are trying to prove that they are superhuman. You know, that they can just do every single thing. And I think that's just an unhealthy way of thinking. I don't think that you're supposed to be doing everything. I think you're supposed to release and relieve some of that burden to your partner. That's the point. And so when I see women doing this thing where they're trying to not relieve any kind of burden, and it just is a lot. It's like it's just so sad to watch because it's like I know you're stressed.
I mean, if you're like a woman that wants housekeepers and stuff like that, then maybe that makes sense.
I mean, that makes sense.
But I personally think that when
most women are not like that.
Yeah, the responsibility, you need to be.
I mean, I don't know. I'm
very personable.
Yeah.
So for me, my home needs to be cleaned by me. You know what I mean? My things need to be touched by me. My food needs to be cooked by me. My kids need to be raised by me. You know what I mean? I don't really like to pay for people to do something I can do.
I guess there's women, but see, that's another part of it. There's a lot of women now that don't know how to do those things. That's a whole other,
you know what I mean? Like, that's a whole other video. I mean,
so they do that, and they found their kind of like balance on that, I guess. It's almost like a train wreck. You can see one of those train wrecks you see coming, that you just see it coming, but you can't look away, but you know what's about to happen. It's like there's no way you're gonna be able to do this. There's no way you're gonna be able to work 16 hours a day in a career. Come home, cook, clean, tidy up, say goodnight to your kids, feed them, say goodnight to your kids, and somehow be with your husband, maybe have sex, who knows.
And, you know,
I don't know that person.
It's not just the quantity of time, it's the quality of time you have with both your husband and your child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to, just like Elizabeth said, I don't want my husband and my kids to have the rest of me.
Yeah.
And this business has all of my passion and my, the best parts of my life. My family deserves that. You know what I mean? And that's how I feel about life. I feel like if you're not going to do something 100%, then don't do it. So if you don't feel like you're going to be 100% mom, then don't be trying to be a mom. You know what I mean? Yeah. Be a career woman. Do that 100%, because Oprah's right on that level. You know what I mean? If she's not going to, she's like, being a mother is a big deal, Oprah said. She's just it's probably one of the hardest jobs that there are. And she's like, and I know I can never do what I'm doing now and also be a mother.
Yeah. So she can't even be a wife properly. That's why she's not married.
That's why she's not. So it's just like, you know what I mean? So when women say that, it's just like, you got to be honest about what that looks like. I mean, all this money, but then we don't see each other.
We don't see each other. So then what?
So, someone else is cooking for my husband. Someone's cooking for my husband and my kids and cleaning my home. And probably also sleeping with my husband. because I'm not there to do it. So I think it's selfish. It's selfish to go and do a career and then just like abandon it. Right. It's selfish to go have kids and just abandon them because you're bored here, but now.
Right.
Now I'm bored now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, I've had a big wedding and I've met the man of my dreams.
Spend all this money.
He's a provider, and he's a supporter, and he loves me. And then, but now I don't feel like having sex with you right now because I've had to work all day and I've had to do this. And so, you see what I'm saying? It takes too much of you sometimes to do everything all at once.
Am I able to do several things at once? Yeah. Most women can multitask well. Women just can multitask well. But, that does not mean that you're necessarily supposed to multitask. It just means that, when faced with it, you're able to somehow bounce it out really quick. But I feel like that's temporary. That type of thing is kind of temporary. But I think for like a long run, having all this, no, I don't think that's to me. I don't think it's logical, and I think that it's just unhealthy mentally.
It's also just stress. They always say that stress.
Stressful.
Everybody can deal with stress. Stress is it's in us to deal with. We're supposed to go. We're supposed to go through bouts of stress and be able to deal with it healthy.
Yeah.
Our body can react to it, but we're not supposed to go on long bouts of stress that can kill you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I say women can do it all, I can get stuff done. If I have things to do in one day, that's short-term stress though.
Right.
I can get this done. That's today. Maybe even this week.
Right.
But you're telling me that my whole life for 18 years that I have a child, that I'm doing that for 18 years? No.
You would pull all your hair out. Or just be one of those women who's silently suffering and not saying, and pretending that she can do it all. And how many stories you've heard of that? See, I feel like I'm good at doing a lot of things.
But most people are.
But I don't think I'm great at doing a lot of things.
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's
that's the difference. That's where I draw the line, and that's why I feel like women just simply cannot. I don't think that you can I don't think you can have it all.
Like you can ask women on, what do you want? Do you want to be a wife and a mother, or do you want to go to work?
Yeah.
And then they'll go, well, I want them both. No, but if you only had a choice, what would it be?
Yeah.
And
what's most important? Prioritize right now.
If it's the career, do not bring children into that because you will ignore them, and you won't have. They will come first. Especially
careers, because women who have jobs. That's a little different. Especially if you're not stressed that you have like 2-3 jobs. You just have a normal 40 hours a week. You're just doing your thing, right? That's a different thing. But we're talking about women who have these careers. I don't know, 16-hour days, jet setting. Have to go places all the time. Always on conference calls. Women who always have the thing in their ear, talking to whoever. You're always on a Zoom meeting. It's like,
and a lot of those women don't want to fall back because they know that if they do.
Yeah,
they fall back. Everything has its place and time.
Yeah,
it's not meant to happen. Everything's meant to happen. Well, there are times when you're going to be doing something more than you will be doing at another time.
Yeah,
nothing's meant to just happen all at once and get everything done. Everything happens in its right time. It's divine timing. That's how I feel. When it's right, it's right. That's what it is. When it's not right, it's not right, and you pull back.
Yeah, or life will show you that it's not right. Alright guys, let us know what you think. Leave some comments below. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And that's it. Do you think women can have it all? Have a good weekend.